Welcome to another edition of Tuning In with Bob Lancer. And
Dr. Greg Nielsen, or Dr. G as my students call me.
what number is this? 20 something.
24,
Wow, 2 years.
2 years, and people are still watching the early ones too.
Beautiful. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like a whole course in organics, which is the name of our teacher's teaching, Isidore
Hmm.
Friedman. T- Both of us studied not at his feet, but at his card table.
Yeah,
His
that's,
card.
that's right. And he had plenty of ballpoint pens so we could make some copyings from the notebooks.
I don't remember the pens. I just remember the books. This
Yeah,
incredible library.
yeah, incredible. Exactly.
Yeah. And he was always very careful about lending anything. I don't know if he ever told you this story. He said he used to lend people books all the time and they would never come back.
And I didn't listen to him when he brought that up. So I just lent books to people and never saw him again. So now, as I've gotten older and more conscious, supposedly, I go, here, you can buy it right here.
Right. Right. Well, today's topic is the subconscious. Um, I remember one of the things Isidore didn't only teach one-on-one, he also gave occasional group classes.
Yes.
And I said, for some reason, I remember one class that he was presenting where he talked about how our posture can program our subconscious.
Mm.
And I remember him,
The posture of our physiology. Okay.
yep, the physical
Yeah.
posture.
Hmm.
And I remember him like doing different poses, like leaning over in a depressed pose.
Yeah.
So one of the things he was teaching was to be aware of what your posture, the emotion that your posture is expressing.
Hmm. Yes. I don't remember that particular class, but over the years, I've come across this in many, many different places,
Yeah,
both
me
in
too.
written form and, for example, when I would visit the Zen Buddhist retreat, Mount Shasta, they were very conscious and very uh, instructive of posture.
So subconscious.
Yeah.
I'm sure, we decided we were going to do this topic maybe
Yeah.
a month or so ago. So, what have you been thinking about? What have you been ruminating about the subconscious?
Well, the first thing that popped into my mind when the topic came up for us to do today was the fact that I was working on re-editing and editing organics, practicing bare attention, because he has a good strong section in there on the subconscious.
Oh, it's powerful.
Yeah,
It's
and it's
telescope.
very clear and very precise and well worded in a very scientific, organic, and using general semantics way.
It's almost a
So
different style of writing than his other notebooks.
exactly.
You notice
Yeah,
that
I
even
think
the section on bare attention in the book that you have behind you, it's
yeah.
different kind of writing.
Yeah, he seems like he was very laser-like. That's how I thought of it.
Mhm.
Very precise, very laser, very detailed, very functional and structural. And energetically, when you read it, you feel something different. I think that's what you're kind of indicating. It doesn't have that same rhythm to some of his previous writings. Not to say that the previous writings weren't excellent.
Now, do you know which came first? Whether he was the writings on bare attention, and then the regular notebooks that we would copy from. Do you know which? It seems to me that maybe the bare attention came earlier, but I don't know.
Based on what I could see, of course, I would write in the notebooks from various ones. I mean, I didn't know the order necessarily because he would just say, "Well, here, what do you pick one today?"
Right.
And I'd pick it up and I'd start to go.
Yeah.
I sensed that it was later, but that's my opinion. I don't really know.
Okay.
So,
Maybe we'll check with the pendulum sometime.
yeah,
So subconscious, you're a master of the pendulum. You wrote a book about it. You've been using it for decades. You've helped
yeah.
me with the pendulum a number of times. What would you say the relationship between the pendulum and the subconscious is?
Okay, well, depending on the way you word your question, and that's a whole topic in itself, because first of all, maybe you should describe what the pendulum is for somebody that may not be aware of it.
Please do.
Uh, Basically, it's anything that hangs from a string or chain,
Hmm.
has a weight,
Hmm.
and you can utilize it to ask questions. And the response that it comes to it is how it moves. And you can program it, program your subconscious to set up how it's going to move, whether it's rotating to clockwise for a yes, counterclockwise for a no. And there's also like scale readings on a 0 to 10 scale. It's a whole, there's two books on it that we wrote. So,
Yes.
but,
And it's like
but
it's basically a form of dowsing, right?
exactly. And of course, there's a whole American Society of Dowsers and Pendulum users out there.
Yep.
So there's multiple volumes. But focusing more on the subconscious, the beauty of using that tool or using your intuition or being conscious in the moment is you get access to your subconscious, which is that part of you. And there's many ways to put this, by the way, of course, that is kind of the, what would you call it, kind of software program in your psyche. And a lot of us get that by being raised in a certain environment and by induction or absorption, by resonance, we adopt certain belief systems. Would that
So
sound
the sub, so
accurate?
the, yeah, so the subconscious does the adopting, basically.
Exactly. And
Whatever
it,
the subconscious is exposed to, it tends
mhm.
to replicate.
And for the most part, unless you're in a particular situation with very conscious, say, parenting or environment training, you're going to pick up belief systems that may not be healthy psychologically and in terms of your overall life that are toxic or not true to fact, false to fact,
Limiting.
and limiting. And one of the beauties of organics and learning to be conscious and be practice bare attention and mindfulness. And there are obviously in Buddhism and other religious trainings they have this, but the beauty of organics is applying science, the latest science as we know it, to the situation.
Mhm.
And we can actually learn to be aware of what our subconscious holds.
How do we do
And
that? How do we become conscious of the contents of our subconscious? Can you come think of an example of that or an
yeah,
illustration?
I would say I kind of go back to Korzybski, practicing silence on the nonverbal level. Now, a lot of us have an automatic stream of images and words going on pretty consistently. And anybody who wants to take the time to do self-observation will notice that. But you don't have to identify with it. You can non-identify. You can notice. I have somebody who I've been, say, a student for quite some time. Well, I don't know how to meditate. And every time I try to meditate, I start thinking of things, and she doesn't understand what it's a process. You begin
Well,
to notice. And
the thinking of things, the meditation practice that I teach, that I
yeah,
practice, is just to close your eyes and watch what happens.
beautiful. That's what I practice. I
It's so
mean,
simple, right? Because
I
close
just call it no, just notice. I just notice.
just notice, which is bare attention, which is
Yeah.
watching. And one of the things that we start to observe as we consciously observe the activities of our mind is the tendency to automatically associate things.
Hmm.
Like if I'm looking at a lamp and I think of my grandmother who used to own the lamp, and then I remember the smell of her cooking, and then I remember the apron that she wore and how she would argue with my step grandfather and how my father would make her, and all of this, where's it coming from? It's coming from the subconscious.
Hmm.
There's
Right.
no conscious choice of this is the way I want to direct my mind right now.
Yeah, you're pretty much swept along in the currents of the past, and you're not really aware of it for the most part, unless you choose to become more conscious, more mindful, more practicing bare attention, or noticing the activity of your mind. There's many ways to verbalize it, but you have to do it.
Yeah, well, if it's like if you're not conscious of what your mind is up to, it's like driving your car forward,
Hmm.
looking only in the reverse, only
Yes.
in the mirror.
Yeah.
Because all reactions that we have, all these associations are from the past, they take us out of the present.
Hmm.
Present is where we have to make choices to go where we want to go in the future.
Hmm.
But we give up that power to the subconscious when we just let it swallow us up in the thoughts that it presents to us.
It becomes a major habit, and the people around us often are that doing that same thing. So it seems, quote, normal. That's how people live. They don't, what's the big deal? I mean, going back to driving the vehicle or the car or any kind of whatever, uh, clearly years and years ago when I was learning to become more conscious and take time to be in the present moment, there were times that I would be driving the car and get to the location and be aware I don't remember even
That's right.
how I went. I forgot. And I forgot the very things that my mind was on during that time.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was
The
like I
lights
was,
were on and nobody was home.
yeah. And it's kind of shocking,
Mhm.
at least for me it was, when I started noticing there's no way I could not be aware of all the things that were going on and what I was thinking about during that 10-minute drive. I would sometimes struggle to try to remember it. I couldn't.
I remember how in the early stages,
Yeah.
and I'm talking like for the first 5 years, I can
Oh,
remember
yeah, years. Yeah.
how frustrated I'd be
Hmm.
that my mind was out of control, and I would just keep catching it and bring it back, and catching it, bring it back,
Hmm.
catching it, bring it back. But that's the process of
Yes.
becoming conscious,
It's a
becoming
process
aware of what's actually happening in the present moment, and choosing what you do with your mind.
because energy follows attention. And if your mind is on things from the past, unconsciously, not paying attention, that's where you're going to go. And that's the energy you're feeding, and that's the life you're going to attract.
Right, you're going to keep going in the direction of where you were,
Hmm.
repeating the same old problems
Yeah.
instead of moving in the direction you want to go. So, for the metaphor for me is the mind is the steering wheel for
Mm.
your life,
Yeah.
and the subconscious is like having someone in the back seat, right, grabbing that steering wheel and turning it around and sending it where it's want to go, and it has nothing to do with your intentions, your purposes, and your goals.
That pretty much summarizes it. But I do notice, at least for me, the more I paid attention and practiced mindfulness, again, any words you want to call it,
Pay
wordless
attention.
awareness, my subconscious with my conscious seem to work as a team.
Hmm.
There's kind of an, I would sometimes start getting reminders,
Hmm.
pay more attention. Now, somebody said, well, maybe that some people say, well, that's your intuition. Maybe it is, but I find there's a cooperative effort that kind of happens because you've been training your subconscious to be more conscious.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it seems to be a pal or a friend or a companion or
Mhm.
a helpful
Well,
helper.
of course, the subconscious, if it wasn't for the subconscious, we'd have to figure out how to drive our car every time we got into it.
Exactly.
We'd have to
So,
figure out how to ride a bike every time we sat upon it.
and the reason I say that is you can work with the subconscious as
That's-
opposed to being absorbed by it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, and
yes.
unconscious of it.
Yeah, one of the techniques that I have found helpful when I find, let's just step back. To
Yeah.
me, gaining control of the subconscious mind so that it functions as an ally,
Mm.
fundamental practice is bare attention.
Yeah.
And what bare attention means to me, and I'm curious to see if you can relate to it like that,
Yeah.
is it's the it it it's based on the will to observe your mind.
Hmm.
It takes
Hmm.
will. It
Yeah.
doesn't just happen
Mm,
automatically.
mm, mm.
I think that automatic pattern might grow a little bit over time with intention, but
Yeah.
I rouse myself up many times a day, and just to
Yes.
remember, okay, now pay attention to what's going on inside of you. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings right now
Mm-hmm.
without getting swept away by them. It always takes an act of will, and it immediately changes my state.
Yeah. The energy changes completely. You resonate with, you might call it a more moment, energy in the moment, a more present energy. What's the word? Kind of an internal strengthening
Yeah,
vibe.
strengthening of
Uh,
the will for sure.
you're more alert and you tend to not get foggy headed or distracted as much. And
Mhm,
if you do get distracted, you bring it back
mhm,
because you realize this feels pretty good. It
mhm.
does feel good. It feels healthy. It feels more balanced. It feels more like an equilibrium. It feels like your
Can you
individual.
imagine? Can you imagine, like, if kids from grade school were taught bare attention to just observe their mind so that you can be selective of what you think instead of being swept away by automatic thought habits?
Well, that would be a wonderful moment.
Be amazing, wouldn't
Be a
it?
great cultural future.
Yeah.
So, and present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the ways that I utilize my subconscious in becoming more conscious is when I'll catch myself thinking, I'll ask my subconscious, what should I think about?
Oh, okay.
And as soon as I ask myself that question, what should I think about? The thoughts are in abeyance, and my subconscious is now making a connection with my higher self.
Ah,
And
yeah.
the higher self then transmits through the subconscious some kind of wisdom, some kind of guidance.
And that's kind of what I was saying about companionship or working in tandem with the subconscious. It connects to the intuition. There's a kind of a combination of intuitive, higher consciousness, inner consciousness with your conscious mind, with your conscious attention, and with your subconscious. They kind of line up the three that are one, sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the link.
Yeah.
It can connect you to the lower forces, the
Hmm.
animal self, the infantile self.
Yeah.
It can automatically bring up those drives, like someone says something and something comes up, and who do you think you are? Where did
Hmm.
that come from? That came from the subconscious connecting with the lower forces,
Hmm.
right? But if I practice bare attention, I can come up with a better solution to the problem of someone talking to me in a particular tone. I can come
Yeah.
up with something constructive.
Yes.
I love the way it's pictured in the tarot with this
Oh.
card,
Ah.
the card of strength.
Hmm.
We look at the lion as a symbol of the subconscious, the lower force of the subconscious. She's taming it gently with awareness. We could call her awareness or
Hmm.
Sophia, right? And as she tames that lion, that lower energy turns into the Kundalini, turns into
Ah.
higher spiritual force,
Hmm.
can guide us. So the subconscious is not a villain.
No.
Subconscious is a tool, but if we don't use it correctly, it's a weapon against us.
Yeah, we sabotage ourselves in many ways over and over again, repeating certain patterns that
Yeah.
that become ha deeply rooted habits or belief systems.
Yeah, like automatically relating to your wife the way your father related to your mother,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Or automatically, responding to life the way your mother responded to life, right?
yeah.
Just
You pick you,
automatically copying patterns instead of finding our own individual path. It's about individualization, as Victor
yeah,
would say.
individualization. Yes, and of course now I have a son and he has a family. So when I go visit, I look to see, hmm, did he get that from me? And then get the thing from me.
Only the
And
good stuff.
well, I mean, I can see some pros and cons, but
Mhm.
but it passes down through the generations very easily if there's not someone
Automatically.
along the way or members of the family that become conscious or more conscious.
Yeah, I think a lot of our patterns are ancestral.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
They go way, way back, just passed on automatic
Hmm.
until someone starts to practice bare attention.
Hmm.
What is bare attention? Consciously and deliberately observing the activities of your mind
Yes.
instead
And
of getting swallowed up by it. Even
and
doing it while you're listening to our broadcast,
yes,
right?
perpetually, as
Yeah.
much as you possibly can. But sometimes this, I think Izzy in the book, the Bear Attention book, does talk about sometimes you have to exercise it and you have to go through the process of making it stronger or more, like you say, use the will.
Hmm.
You can build up that ability to do it, say, for a minute or two or 10 or 20.
Hmm.
Or even if you don't, you go back to it on and off all day long.
Well, that's us. That's
Yeah.
what we're
And I'm
doing.
in that phase and and I recognize how important it is. So I tend to go along with it most of the time. I say,
Oh,
whoa, yeah, this feels good. I'm going to keep it going.
well, it rescues you from the tragic stories of your life.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
can think of yourself as a victim or you think of yourself as disadvantaged. As soon as you start thinking of yourself as disadvantaged, the subconscious picks that up and
Oh,
says,
yeah.
okay, let's disadvantage you,
And,
to
and
manifest that.
you'll start attracting something that proves it is true
That's
with
right.
quotation marks. Yeah.
Right.
It's not, but
Right.
it
Manifestation.
reinforces. Yeah.
Yeah, we could say that manifestation validates your subconscious process.
Hmm.
It's a long-winded way of saying it.
And so what
That's
go
another
ahead.
technique that I use, which is sometimes I'll say, a thought will occur to me, and I'll ask myself, a subconscious, is this what I want to manifest?
Hmm. Yeah.
because whatever I think about, I bring more into my life.
Yes.
So if I think about myself in a financially challenging situation, do I want to manifest a financially challenging situation? Of course not.
No.
If I notice myself thinking about that, I can drop the thought. If I don't notice myself thinking about that, I automatically identify the thought as my reality and I feel trapped,
Hmm.
not
And of
even
course,
though I'm creating it.
and then of course, there's a whole thing to do with fear, apprehension and fear and all that kind of thing that can be activated in people, negative emotion.
Is
Yeah,
active, is.
it's activated. And of course, it perpetuates in a cycle, like a loop.
It's
And then,
also
of course, you start justifying it because it's true. This is happening to me, right? No.
right.
Well, you are the creator of that reality. So you can change your mind if you
If you're
choose,
aware,
if you're aware.
if
Yeah.
you're aware. And also, subconscious patterns are contagious.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
How so for you? How do you see them as
Well,
contagious?
well, there's a couple of ways. One, just individually, if I'm have those memories or patterns from the past and I come into a situation where it triggers. Now, if I'm not conscious, I tend to get swept up into it. Years ago, that sweeping up into that vortex of whatever you want to call it, sometimes it go on for hours, even days.
Years,
Yeah, years, exactly. And as I've gotten more practice over time, sometimes that cycle is much shorter. Hopefully it is. Usually it is. But then you go, oh, wow, that was really strong. I mean, let me let that go and I'm going to be more, let it next time, register, do not react. Be
right?
conscious in the moment.
Now, if you're around a lot of people
Oh, yeah.
who are reacting to something in a particular way because that's their automatic subconscious reaction, they think you have to react that way. If you see an image, let's say on the news or on or just in, just in the street, wherever you are, you see something, and then you have this automatic emotional reaction to it. Like the other night, I was taking my dogs for a walk, and there was a stray dog, and I had an immediate emotional reaction.
Yeah.
All immediate emotional reactions come from the subconscious,
Very well put.
right?
Very
So
well
in that
put.
moment, I was dysfunctional. I couldn't direct the situation. I couldn't come up with a solution. I
Yeah.
was hit with the emotion, um, which is fine if that's how you want to be. However, it becomes more and more painful and costly to live that way. I
Hmm.
remember Isidore used to suggest practicing, deliberately practicing seeing without emotion.
Yeah.
He called it register. Remember what he called it?
Register, but don't react.
Registering without reacting.
Yeah.
And that
And
starts to separate us from the subconscious
it does.
with access to then I can say, well, how should I handle this? Now I'm directing my subconscious to connect with the higher, and then I can be guided.
And sometimes that comes up when I work with people. Well, I reacted. I said, well, yeah, I sometimes react, but the reaction, I don't go with it. I don't identify with it. It's sort of on the surface of the reaction and how I have an opportunity to let it go.
Right.
So ideally, you don't react at all. That would be, and you can do that. But in the
Which doesn't
process of
which
learning,
doesn't make which doesn't make you unfeeling or
oh no, not at all.
unempathetic.
I think it deepens your empathy and compassion, in my opinion, because you know that people are going through stuff you're going through.
Mhm.
It's not just you, and you can identify with others very quickly because you notice it with them. It's not a criticism of the person; it's something you just notice.
And
And
this brings us back to what we talked about in a much earlier broadcast. It,
yeah,
has to do with rapport.
oh yeah,
If I'm in a low energy state, there's a real strong likelihood that the people's subconscious patterns around me are going to govern my energy and my attention and my life.
yeah. And of course, we've talked about this before too. I know usually take the time and the attention. Where am I going? And when I go there, what does it feel like, even ahead of time?
Right.
Not that you lock it in,
Hmm.
but you don't want to be surprised.
Hmm.
So who's going to be there? What's the topic? What's the situation? And again, it's sort of a general blueprint.
Hmm.
So when you go in the situation, you feel the energy, you can make adjustments. You're not just going in there being resonated with. into your subconscious because you can get swept up into a whole thing.
Well,
Uh,
I think that the ability to to intuitively sense what you're talking about, like how is it going to be if I go there? I
yeah.
think that the training of looking at things from the STEM universe perspective
Hmm.
starts to program the subconscious to be able to kind of sense all that in a synthesis. You don't have to
Yeah.
do the intellectual analysis of it. You can just feel, nope, it just feels draining.
Yeah. And Izzy talks about that in his book, Organics, the Law of the Breathing Spiral. He calls it the analytical synthesis combination.
Anosynth. Yeah.
Yeah, anal synthesis, and you just go boom. And then even then I pay attention, like, okay,
It's
there,
still going to be
there's
an
there's
experiment.
there's a feel. Let's see where we go with this. And
Hmm.
so if I generally I'll say no. I mean, this just is out of the question right now. I'm tired. I'm worn down.
Hmm.
I'm going through maybe, I don't know, I did too much work today or something. I don't know, whatever it might be.
A lot of folks don't understand the danger and the damage of proceeding from a state of fatigue,
Yeah.
how that sets you up to be swallowed up by your subconscious and the
Hmm.
subconscious patterns of everybody around you. The difference between a conscious pattern and a subconscious pattern, how would you differentiate between the two?
Well, it has a definite different energy quality. A conscious energy pattern is aligning, bringing alertness, promoting and benefiting and encouraging being in the moment, practicing silence on the nonverbal level. It's looking at the steps and situations that you might be encountering over the next minutes or hours or day, and sort of taking stock of that and looking for the wisdom in the situation. All of that starts to happen when you're conscious. When you're pulled by the automatic subconscious, who knows where you're going to go? I mean, you can go into fear, you can go into anger, you can
You're
go
going to
into,
go into the past.
you're going to go into the past and you're going to trigger off,
Everybody else, they're so
yeah,
you're going to
everybody
start.
else that's on that frequency.
That's right. That's right.
And if you get stubborn, like I used to be, and I'm still stubborn, but I would, oh, I'm right. And I'll just suffer it,
Right.
and until you finally go, it's too much pain. Let me learn to let that go.
Well, I think, yeah, I think that for me to differentiate between the subconscious and conscious, and of course this is just words, right?
Of
That I'm
course, it's
using.
functional skill is more important, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's really, it gives me choice.
Choice. It,
Isidore used to talk about the practice of a triad. Remember
hmm
what it was? Attention,
Yeah.
choice, decision,
Yeah.
right? To
He
bring
had whole
together.
notebooks full of triads.
Yeah, to bring those together, attention, choice, decision.
Hmm.
When you're coming from your subconscious, you're having automatic reactions. Your feelings can get hurt, you can get frustrated, disturbed, right? So the ability to make a choice of a response that's not driven by emotion, that's not even driven by desire, by feelings of for and against.
Hmm.
You're able to assess the situation and see a way to make it work.
Yeah. It's like a beautiful navigation system, and say, but that's just a metaphor, obviously. It's actually the skill of being in the moment and seeing, feeling what would be a wise step or course of action, or
Yeah,
not action, or
yeah,
not action. Yeah.
yeah. Or it's like if you're in a situation and you want to figure out like what to do about it, the comes in and says, just do what your father did.
Mm. Right. Yeah. I mean,
What your father did in 1948,
right.
in Mexico, do what he did there.
And a lot of people, mom and dad were right. Uh, Whatever, uncle was right, society is right, the school was right. That's the way it's done. Everybody does it that way. That's got to be correct then. So you can get
So if,
locked up in that.
yeah, so if we look at it from a standpoint of like, esoteric Christianity, we could say that when Christ says, come out from among them and be ye therefore separate,
Hmm.
What he's really talking about is separate yourself from your subconscious.
Hmm.
Subconscious domination, right? To
Yeah.
some degree, we want to be dominated by our subconscious. I don't want to have to think about how to digest my food.
No.
Right?
Right. Drive a car.
Yeah, I mean, I do sometimes want to think about how I breathe,
Yeah.
because that can have a
Right.
positive effect. But
Rhythmic breathing, conscious rhythmic breathing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So bringing awareness into the situation, um, we start to see how we are ruled by unconscious patterns.
Hmm.
And from there, we can begin to extricate ourselves. Wittgenstein uh, used to say that whatever you're conscious of, you can begin to control.
Yes.
Whatever you're unconscious of controls you. And so, becoming conscious of your mind, you can start to control your mind based on your sense of purpose and intention,
Hmm.
deepest heart's desire. But if you're not in control of your mind, you and Isidore also, I just read it this morning where he said to be in control of your world, you have to be in control of your mind.
Yes. Yes.
And bare attention is what brings that about.
Hmm.
One of the other things that I remember Isidore saying in one of these settings is, and I remember copying it by hand from a notebook, that your subconscious believes what you tell it.
Mm.
Everything you say, you believe,
Hmm.
even if you didn't believe it before you said it.
Yeah.
It's like propaganda,
Hmm.
right? What is the rule of propaganda? You say it over and over again, and people start to believe that it's true because they're run by their subconscious. The only way out of being ruled by propaganda is to start to work yourself out of being controlled by the automatic patterns of your mind.
And of course, one of those, the subconscious responds to verbal phrases, words that are charged with mismeaning or no meaning or noise sounds, beliefs from the past,
Mhm.
and images. Words and images that are unconscious tend to lay the groundwork for your subconscious unconsciousness, if you want to put it that way. Yeah,
The subconscious is what holds all the trauma. And
yeah,
so you can be going along, it used to happen to me, you could be going along nicely in life,
yeah,
something happens, and all of a sudden you're blown away by it.
yeah, exactly. You get swept
O-
into a whole
Over,
big drama. Yeah,
yeah, over like a tornado of emotion. It could be severely depressed, severely anxious, right?
yeah.
And that is nothing but a subconscious response to a single aspect of a situation. I remember
Hmm.
another story Isidore said to illustrate how the subconscious works. He said if when you were a little child, someone berated you on a regular basis wearing a red tie,
Oh, yeah.
and 30 years later, you don't even remember the episode. Someone walks into your room wearing a red tie, and you start to shake, and you
Mm.
automatically don't like the guy.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's how the subconscious works.
Yes.
And
And
very
that's the
much
beauty, and
so
that's the beauty of having the ability to bring yourself into the conscious moment and feel that and not get gripped completely. I mean, go into a dramatic episode that could last who knows how long. I mean, it can
and
drain
do
your energy away.
and do untold damage.
Yeah.
So another practice, so one of the practices that Isidore taught for overcoming the lower potential of the subconscious is to practice registering without reacting.
Yes.
No matter what it is, notice it and try to maintain a neutral state as you consider what is a wise response to the situation. Another thing that he used to talk about was to practice seeing without association,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? Remember that?
Right. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Do you want to explain that a little bit? What does it mean to see without association?
Well, again, I'm going to verbalize it the way I might want to do it right now. So this quite often happens when you hang out with people and you something comes up and they tell a story. And then sometimes I'll catch myself going, yeah, that happened to me kind of like that when this happened. Well, that's an associative memory. It might be nice to in a friendship to kind of share,
Might be.
but to automatically go with association after association after association in words and images, you're going into the subconscious and you're really not detached or non-identified with that automatic subconscious stream.
Yeah, once we get caught in association, we're no longer truly present.
Hmm.
We can't respond to the situation in line with our true needs, in line with the needs of other people. We can't really recognize what's going on. And the more we live that way, the more life seems to spin out of control.
Yeah, it becomes a kind of addictive behavior, and it goes in a kind of an unconscious loop. And
Mhm.
you kind of talk yourself into thinking it's normal, quotation marks around that word.
Well, it's typical.
Yeah, typical or normal, or
Mhm.
that's how I live.
Yeah.
That's life.
I don't
That's
have any,
life.
yeah, what choice do I have?
Yeah, I have no choice. That's how it is.
And then some people say, yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah,
It's
some people
fun.
like
Like,
to share drama.
yeah, it's fun. Like crack is fun. You
Yeah.
know? And just because it's fun, it doesn't mean like it's really in your best interest. And there's not something even more fulfilling that you could be doing in the now than
Yeah.
just being drifted off in your mind, losing your mind, basically, losing direction. If your
Hmm.
mind, the pattern of our thinking radiates an energy field into our
Yes.
circumstances.
Yeah.
And if that pattern is chaotic and unfocused and misdirected, we start finding our circumstances becoming more chaotic and undirected, not consistent with how we really want things to go.
Hmm.
As we bring order to our mind, we bring order to our life, not just order in some kind of a general abstract sense, order in the sense of it starts to line up with our priorities.
Hmm.
Life starts to align with our priorities as our mind aligns with our priorities. And that doesn't happen automatically.
No. And you start to hit your stride, your individuation, or individual stride, or purposes, or purpose. And then you start to experience joy, conscious happiness,
Hmm.
uh, understanding, wisdom,
Hmm.
and you enjoy that and
Hmm.
like it, and it seems healthy, and it is, and you kind of reinforces your path because it's very fulfilling.
Well, that's one of the things that I noticed from the practice of bare attention, which again is deliberately observing my mind, not
Hmm.
just getting swept away by my mind, is it gives me the freedom from so much suffering,
Oh yeah,
so much unnecessary suffering, because my mind can go into thoughts of people who disturb me. I'm like, well, I don't really want to go into that state right now.
yeah,
And if I catch it soon enough, I can
yep,
let it go and get back into the present moment before getting swept away.
yeah.
The more you live in the present, the better you handle the present. The better you handle the present, the better your future is going to be.
That's a very well succinctly put, Bob.
That's why I paid the big bucks.
That's, I mean, if we could practice that, and we can,
We do.
and you will,
We do. You and I have been
yeah,
practicing it for decades.
it's a marvelous, fulfilling life.
Well, we live organics. Thanks to
Mhm.
Isidore
Yeah,
and
and
whatever it is that brought us there.
and even if there's quote a problem, I won't even call it a problem. It's just a blip. It's
Yeah.
something to learn from, and it's
Right.
part of something that's come up that you need to deal with.
Well,
And you,
the way I sort of direct my subconscious when it comes to problems is I will give my subconscious a direction. I don't have to use words to direct my subconscious, just an
yep,
intention.
yeah,
Whatever problem I'm facing, or that I think I have,
hmm,
I will immediately ask myself, if this problem, and again, when you ask yourself the question, your subconscious comes up with the answer.
hmm,
I would ask myself, if this problem was completely solved, I don't know how to solve it, but if this problem was completely solved, how would I feel?
hmm,
What would it look like?
yeah,
And then what happens is this interesting, it's like the subconscious handles the details.
hmm, hmm,
It works it out.
yeah.
And so it's more like manifesting a solution rather than wrestling with a problem.
Very well. I have an associative memory that I'm going to share. Goes along those lines. Outside my front door, there's an outside light that the bulb burns out from time to time. Making a long story short, I unscrew the screw to take off the top to put the new bulb in. Then I try to put the screw back in. Usually very simple, very easy. I drop it.
Oh, at night?
I don't know where it went. Now I'm caught up in this. I got to fix it right away. Now, my old self would have spent hunting around, digging, whatever. I caught myself, let it go. I did. That's the choice of letting that go. It's not going to cause a big problem. Nobody cares if that's the light's on and just not covered. So I let it go. Long story short, the next day I come up the stairs and I look down and there's the screw right there. It had a similar color to the paint, the kind of a brownish, but I saw it, my intuition or my whatever you want to call it. Oh, there it is. No problem.
Right. Well, it's like when you're having a conversation and you
Yeah.
forget what you were going to say, and then you say, "Oh, it'll come to me."
Yeah.
That programs the subconscious to bring it to you.
Yeah. Another one.
Yeah, or I'll find the screw. It'll come. I'll find the screw when I need it. Don't worry
Yes.
about it. And then I
That,
do. Because whatever you tell the subconscious to do in the tarot, like
yeah.
in this image, the subconscious is symbolized, the symbol of is symbolized by the dog,
Yeah.
who's willing to follow the fool anywhere, willing to follow
Yeah.
consciousness anywhere. It'll
Yeah.
do whatever you want it to do. You say, show me a way to make more money. Wait, patiently. Something's going to come up.
Oh, yeah. Another one that over the years I've had just is I go to the store to get something, and that's the thing I didn't get.
Because of
Because
association.
of my subconscious,
That's right.
somewhere along the line, who knows, my mom, my dad, my grandparent would do that habit. So I started changing the way I say something to myself. When I go to the store, I will remember A, B, and C. Those are the three most important things. Or I write it down and take it with me. I mean, to change the habit. But that habit has been going on for years.
So
I kind of laugh at it
it's
now, but
it's deliberately programming the subconscious.
yes,
So
I'm creating that situation. I'm drawing it to me and then confirming it again. It seems like a small thing, but hey, why not be conscious of everything?
Mhm.
It feels much more relaxing and easygoing.
So Wittgenstein used to talk about a way of directing the subconscious. He would say, before you go to sleep at night,
Yeah, yeah.
tell your subconscious where you want it to go.
Mhm.
Maybe you want to go up into these higher heavenly planes and learn from the wisest beings of all time.
Yeah,
Tell your subconscious where you want it to go. And then in the morning when you wake up, in a kind of a firm attitude, you say to your subconscious, report.
yeah.
Tell me what happened. Where'd I go? Report.
Mhm.
That was one of the ways that he used to talk about
No,
using
that's excellent.
conscious.
And then even when you wake up in the morning, paying attention to where your thought goes. Is it reprogramming the incident that happened yesterday to happen again in a different way today? I mean, notice where your mind goes. I like what you say. I do. I've been having a notebook by the bed for many, many years, and I do ask almost every morning, what can I recall from whatever happened during that phase of sleep?
Or
And
what can I learn?
if something pops up, I
Mhm.
jot it down.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't force it, but if it comes up naturally, I put it down and I'll take a look at it.
An interesting exercise to see how controlling the subconscious controls the physical realm is if you close your eyes and imagine yourself grinning, really grinning from ear to ear. It's almost impossible to not smile.
I'm already smiling.
If you're imagining it, right?
Yeah,
So we have to be very, very careful, very, very mindful, aware. What am I telling myself about myself?
yeah.
What am I telling myself about my situation? What am I telling myself about other people? Because I start to believe that. And is it functional? That's the question.
Hmm.
Is it really working? What is it that I want to accomplish? You simply ask yourself that. What do you really want? And with my clients, students, the people I work with, on almost every call, at some point in the call, I'll say, now, as if I never asked you before, what is it? that you really want more than anything else in the world? What do you want? And I say, just don't answer from the intellect. Let it come to you from deep within.
Yeah,
And the subconscious delivers that vision, that feeling, that knowing
yeah.
from deep within of what you really, really want. And that starts to orient your life immediately toward it.
And energy follows attention, so you put your attention on it, cultivate it, grow it, garden it, and time goes by. It's there.
So the Kabbalah has a couple of teachings about programming the subconscious.
Uh-huh.
So if we look at the Kabbalah tree of life, right, the
Yeah.
subconscious is represented by this sphere, yes, at the foundation. This is the
Hmm.
conscious mind down here. This is the subconscious. And we have two, in order to manifest, symbolically speaking, the kingdom of heaven on earth, we have two trainings for the subconscious. The first, if we look at from 7 to 9, that's programming the subconscious with victorious feelings.
Mm.
Be careful about slipping into states of despondency and pessimism. Try
Mm.
to focus your attention on how it would feel if you lived a totally victorious life. That
Hmm.
programs the subconscious to give you those feelings and to produce that life. And then
Mm.
from 8 to 9, it's the mind, it's the thoughts, thinking about the way you want things to be. What would be the one of the meanings of this verse, glory? What would be a truly glorious life for you?
Mm.
Ask yourself that question. What would be a truly glorious, splendid life for myself that is so beautiful and magnificent? I'm filled with gratitude and awe. And the subconscious will give you the vision.
Hmm.
It will bring it up to you rather than dwelling on negative possibilities.
Yeah, and harping on past mistakes,
Oh,
quotation marks around that, you know, mistake. So
yeah.
yeah, you can just reinforce it and repeat the same patterns over and over.
Yeah. Or asking wrong questions like, what's wrong with me? Your subconscious will find something,
Oh yeah, there's always something there that you
right?
can point to
And
that's
then
really
that
not.
and that's where your energy then goes.
Yeah, and then of course then
Yeah.
it repeats itself.
So I came up with years ago when I was doing a lot of classes on parenting and child development,
Yeah.
I came up with a kind of a mathematical formula that relates to the subconscious.
Oh, okay.
So I'll explain to you how it works, and then I'd love to hear your comments on it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So infinite P represents infinite potential. Let's say that's your true self,
Hmm.
minus the self-criticism that you hold on to,
Yeah.
equals your self-image, your
Hmm.
idea of yourself. And your idea of yourself causes your behavior.
Mm.
We live up to or down to the
Hmm.
image of ourselves or the image of our children that we give them.
Yeah.
If you tell your kid every day you're lazy, rotten, good for nothing, the kid walks around fulfilling that in his behavior, right?
Right.
Behavior produces your results. So the process is freeing ourselves from the negative self-criticism that lowers our self-image and all that subconscious process, right?
So when you're consciously parenting, you register but don't necessarily react in the same way that maybe your parents, grandparents, and the generations down the line. And that was a challenge all the years that I was raising my son,
Hmm.
is to the more I was conscious, let it go.
Hmm.
Take a pause. Don't just go back with the automatic thing, whatever the
Right.
response. You
Right.
can't do that. That's wrong. That's it. Ba, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Just let it go. And I
Hmm.
notice in his behavior, because he has a lot of employees, and I'm sensing he probably picked this up from me. And of course, I got it from Izzy and those people that are more conscious. But when something happens, he sort of registers but doesn't react that much. He kind of waits, gather more facts. Do I really see the situation clearly rather than attack or criticize and consequently, he has a tremendous compatibility with his inner core of group people. You can see it. They laugh, they joke, they have fun, they work together, they solve the problem. If it's quote a problem, they come up with solutions. And I can see that. I can see that's led to some success in his life in that area. So yeah, it definitely is helpful.
So, so the subconscious is kind of a superficial machine
Hmm.
in the sense that, you can meet someone and there could be one or two or three aspects of their personality or their physical appearance, and it causes a subconscious reaction of desire or approval,
Hmm.
and you can get yourself caught up with that person.
Yeah.
And if you weren't ruled by that desire and you step back, you'd realize there's a larger context here. And although they look really good, I'm just getting a vibe that maybe I need to do a little more due diligence about their background or something like that before
Oh, yeah.
plunging in.
Yes. Go slow.
Right? He says
There's
to an
no,
Aries wearing red,
yeah, there's no need to go quick on anything. If something doesn't feel quite right, wait and see.
or even if it does feel right,
Oh, yeah. Sometimes
right?
it feels
To
very
pause.
intensely right, even.
That's yeah, that's
Too
right.
much the other way.
That's right.
Like and dislike. I
Yeah,
like. It's
right.
what I'm looking for. No, I'm not looking for that. So either one of those is, and as he talked about, getting over your automatic likes and dislikes,
And automatic for and against.
for and against,
It's
exactly.
the automatic part of the subconscious that can sabotage us.
Hmm.
There's a way out. It's called bare attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Greg, we've reached the closing minutes of our show on the subconscious. Is there there was one other
Oh,
uh
yeah, please.
practice that Isidore shared. I'm sure you did it. I did it for years.
Yeah.
Um, a way of using the subconscious where you look back, you choose one, two, three events of the day. It could be more.
Yeah.
You would have us sometimes just review everything in reverse order.
Yeah.
But you look back one, two, three events of the year, and you ask your subconscious, what can I learn from this?
Hmm.
See, everybody says life is a school, but nobody teaches you how to learn.
Yeah. Lessons
Really
learned.
ask the question. Your subconscious responds to the question. You simply say, what can I learn from that event where, I had this altercation with this person and I felt a little rise of tension inside of me. What can I learn from that? And you wait. It's an organic process.
Yeah.
Gradually, the subconscious delivers to you what you're looking for.
Hmm. Kind of like I delivered that screw that fell on the ground
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I
Well,
dropped.
yeah,
But I wasn't conscious when I was holding it.
right. So life is a school.
Hmm.
And just like if you're in third grade and you don't get all the challenges, meet all the challenges of third grade, you have to repeat the grade. You have to repeat the same challenges.
Hmm.
It's the same thing in life. If you use your subconscious and look back over the day or over any difficult situation, even the most painful situations of the past, and you ask yourself, what were the benefits of going through that?
Hmm.
What was the opportunity? How can I be better off because I went through that?
Hmm.
Your subconscious will deliver an answer you will learn from life and be able to move on instead of having to repeat the same old challenges over and over.
That's a wonderful summation here and a very practical way of putting it. And anyone who's listening or watching, put it in practice. Give it a go.
Well, those are always your final words. Put it in
Got to
practice.
do it. Got to do
Anything
it.
else you want to add as we close our show? Number
I,
24?
I pretty much say the same thing every time. Listen, practice, try it, do it. See how
Well,
it feels. Continue.
well, this certainly feels good.
Yeah,
When we connect, it's a wonderful energy. I'm sure people who are watching can feel the harmony, the energy, the organic energy, the residue of Isidore
yeah.
radiating from us that we're carriers of.
And other people are reading his material, listening to this, and practicing, and it's a wonderful sharing.
How privileged do you feel that you got to work with Izzy?
I was talking with a friend yesterday, Monday night. Today's Wednesday. Okay. And just talking generally, I didn't talk about Izzy specifically, but part of me was just feeling such a tremendous gratitude and blessedness. And that's all I can say. You can feel it. I mean, it's like, wow, okay, keep it going, brother.
Maybe in a
Because,
future show, I'll talk about the prayer that brought Isidore into my life.
oh, yeah, I'd
We'll
love to
talk
hear
about
that.
that next time.
Seriously. Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your evening,
Thank you,
and
Greg. Great catching
we'll
up with
we'll
you.
be back together here soon.
All right. I wish you bear attention.
Adios, amigo.
Adios.
Yeah.